of the work that we did on Sankara Travel, just to dig in a little bit deeper on what it takes to deliver on these YouLi web redesigns. And so we, in this case, worked within the context of her existing provider. And then we made sure that the design fit on all three device sizes. And so that requires, moving between all of these at different uh, sizes here and doing the work to make sure that the padding and what shows, so for example here, our travelers is actually in line with this. But when you go onto mobile, it didn't really work because you need it to be sort of broken out so that it just flows nicer. Otherwise, it would have been down here, and then these two images are side by side. So these are subtle little things that oftentimes, if you're not a web developer or designer, you don't realize, don't know how to do. So there's little tricks about showing these on mobile, so you can hide on different um, so, hiding and showing these things on different sizes. So that's something that's usually available in these editors, but most customers don't know how to actually make the use of all that capability. And that's one of the services that we bring with the YouLi web capabilities in terms of consulting. Just to show you how we work with our clients on this, we use a piece of software called Zeppelin. So if you work with us in YouLi Web, we're actually going to have a consulting session with you to understand what it really means to bring your brand to life. And then we're actually going to build these mock-ups. And so, it might be hard to kind of understand what all this looks like without kind of diving into it in more depth. But the main thing to take away here is that this is the way that we work with our customers to get feedback. So we give you a draft, and then you can provide us with feedback on the content that you want, because once you see it, that's when you can actually start to uh, provide us the right kind of feedback. So for anybody who's ever started with a blank page and never known what to write, we have this conversation with you. We give you that space. We help you with that structure. And we say, okay, we want you to give us this much content about your story. We want you to give us 4 testimonials. We want to understand what are your services so that we can put them together in a block like this. And then we review that together, and we make sure that that all both the desktop and the mobile version are going to work. And then we review that, go back and forth in comments, and then we go and bring it to life. And so either we build it within our custom CMS, or if you've already got a CMS that you're comfortable with, then we can work within that framework as well. So it just means that we don't do the hosting piece of it, and we are a bit more limited, so we can only do what's possible within this editor. So we may have to say no to certain things, but we often can deliver on quite a lot of enhancements, even if it's hosted on another CMS like this one. So you can see that there's a lot that you can do inside these platforms, and we know when to work within the code. So, sometimes you need to pop into the dev view and make the changes here inside the code. That's just the reality. Like, as much as we want to believe that these sort of WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get editors are enough, the truth is that you can't always achieve what you need just through that, just through being able to drag and drop on this page. So for those of you who ever fought with a little element, tried to drag it around and it just won't fit. So I have the same experience when I work in these, but because we are able to, we can jump into the developer mode, we can make the change that we need, and then quickly move on. So we can get done a lot more design changes within the same sort of WYSIWYG editors than people who are not able to jump in and out of the dev modes. So, it's one of those things. You can build a website without a developer. But the difference between um, those two experiences is often the difference between something that looks like this and something that looks like this.